think we're kind of really, we're almost like too late to hop on this train. And then they explain this next part, you know, about actually, can you explain to everybody what we have done as a company and where we're going?
Absolutely. So looking at, you know, what we've accomplished thus far and where we're going, it's pretty exciting. I mean, it's beyond exciting. So if we look at the amount of premium that we've been able to write since inception, we're looking at a total of $398 million. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing this presentation, looking at Symmetry or looking at this industry, I'm going to say something right now that's not going to make any sense right now, but it will make sense before we finish this presentation. So just take it at face value, write this number down, and be ready to be blown away, because the insurance industry is the richest industry in the world by far. Right? When you look at, you know, banks versus insurance company, who really has the most money? I'll let you in on a little secret. It's insurance companies by far. Okay. So when we look at $398 million in total premium, this is the statement that I'm going to say that's not going to make any sense right now, but it will before we're done. There have been paid in excess of $398 million in commissions to our agents and leaders. How is that possible? We'll show you. But Symmetry has paid out, or excuse me, the insurance companies have paid us in excess of $398 million in commissions and bonuses. Pretty amazing. Almost sounds unbelievable. We'll explain how that works. As far as number of families protected, over 300,000 families that we've had a positive impact on. 300,000. And if you look at the in-force coverage, like hypothetically, if all the coverage was collected on, like if everybody were to pass away on the same day, the insurance companies would be paying out $30 billion with a B. So capacity in future markets. Looking at what we've covered already, you know, let's call it $400 million. The market for that is $2.52 billion. So let's put that in perspective. So we've done essentially 400, and the capacity is 2,500. How am I saying that? Am I saying that right? 2,520. It's such big numbers. It's hard to fathom, right? In other words, we've had such a small, tiny little piece of the marketplace. Looking at final expense and looking at baby boomers aging, reaching that age and beyond, like every day in like the millions. It's crazy. Debt-free life and all these other areas that we haven't even started talking about.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
That's okay. So in looking at our production for last year was 125 million. Just last year, total life capacity is 2.35 billion with a B. Total different stratospheres when you look at it from a numbers standpoint. So basically, if we look at our market penetration, so to speak, we're right at about 5%. And here's the beautiful thing is, yes, Symmetry is growing fast, but so is the country, right? If we look at the population growth and the number of people that have mortgages and just our marketplace in general, we're not keeping pace. So that's the super exciting part, is that there's no chance of us saturating. There are other companies with inferior systems that are recruiting substantially more with nowhere near the opportunity that we have, and they're still growing, which is mind-blowing when you really kind of analyze that and understand what's going on in the industry. So you have anything to add to that, Jordan?
Actually, I do. With our support with our support, I genuinely believe, you know, most leadership roles, you have to look at support and challenge, correct? So the challenge is we have a lot of people to protect. And we got to find the agents who are going to go out there and make it happen. And this is a self-driven, self-made income system that we have here. But we have the most paralleled support system. So it's a high amount of challenge, but with the highest amount of support at our fingertips at all times. And as you can see, Symmetry currently generates 8,000 to 10,000 leads every week. You know, if you go to work with a different insurance company, I remember when I first found Symmetry, I was looking at different insurance carriers to work for. And in my interview, they said, hey, can you write me out 100 people you could sell insurance to today? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I mean, I was 22. I was like, I barely know 100 people. And they said, well, our interview is over. Sorry, you won't be working here. I was like, well, that was fast. You know, I didn't realize that that's what it took to be an insurance agent. So Symmetry wants you to spend your time selling, not prospecting. So we have the best leads, nothing bait and switch, that allows for you to sit in front of people who have asked for your help. So you can just be the doctor, you can be their friend, the person who sets them up with the carrier, the coverage that suits them the absolute best. And as you can see, we currently have over 1 million leads in stock across the country of just bonus leads alone, of people who have filled out coverage and we have not helped yet. So our goal is to put you in front of families that have requested your help. Val, do you want to take it from here?
Absolutely. So looking at the different types of leads that are available to us, there's a lot of them. The primary one is direct mail mortgage protection. With about 30 years of sales experience and 10 years in this specific industry, I've never, ever worked leads anywhere close to the quality and conversion rates of our direct mail mortgage protection, which is the one you see on the left there. So that's just one of many leads that we have. We have online lead generation. I got one of these received day before yesterday. Got in touch with the client the very same day, set an appointment for the following day, and was able to write it. So basically within about 30 hours or so of receiving that lead, I was able to write 2 policies for over, well, we're going to talk about like what this means monetarily, but most importantly, I was able to help that client within 30 hours of receiving his request to our website. 30 hours, not 30 days. And it was over $3,000. So kind of keep that number way in the back of your mind, because, you know, when we look at how we get compensated, that's substantial. So within 1 day, being able to make that level of income is very, very substantial. So we have mortgage protection leads, debt-free life leads, all the different types of leads, and looking at, you know, different types of agent support. It's not just a lead system. We have a proprietary sales system, and of course a lead management system, marketing and recruiting assistance, which is huge as we kind of get into how all of that works, and all of the work and the groundwork that's done for us in advance. They're literally spending millions of dollars to put the system in place for us, and we get to take advantage of it, which is amazing. So you have ongoing support. A lot of people are looking for that. Super important to get that mentorship as far as starting out in a new career and a new business. We have that here. We have one-on-one mentorships. There's training calls weekly. There's webinars. There's all kinds of resources that you have available right at your fingertips. Local, regional, and national training events. We're excited to kick those back off when we're allowed to, but those were well established already prior to what's currently going on. Looking at agent support, there's industry-leading tools that are just absolutely amazing, and not to in any way diminish these 6 things that are on the screen here. Just know that there's amazing tools that we have access to that are literally just turnkey for us, and we have the ability to retain our clients, have a client for life, and have that constant contact with them and build value into what it is that we do. Okay, so agent support, there's also different tools. Connect is a weekly call. There's different initiatives that we have access to. Symmetry Agency Owners Academy is amazing. We're going to talk about what that kind of means. So if you can kind of get into that, that'd be great as far as agent support.
And then definitely last but not least, one of the things that I feel is, you know, when you have a company as big as 3,000 agents and there's only 3 people who own the place, it kind of feels cool to know you're cared about. And how Symmetry has proven that they care about each and every one of us, knowing that normally we're out on the roads, we're driving to people's homes, we're helping them face to face normally. Now, of course, we've been pushed into remote work, and it has been an excellent transition for this company, is the fact that Symmetry is paired with an insurance carrier who agrees with the same culture that Symmetry has of taking care of their agents and giving them that balance of life and wealth. And what they have done as an independent agent, you know, you're 1099, but you get a year of free life insurance for all the Symmetry agents that can qualify for it. It is a term insurance. So, you know, for those with health conditions, I do want to make that preface that not everybody can qualify for it, but it is a very it's a very lenient coverage where you can get up to $250,000 in coverage up to a 30-year term, and Symmetry will pay for those premiums that first year to make sure that we are safe and we're able to believe in what we do full-heartedly, because when you are trying to help a family with an insurance policy and you don't have one, you're not going to be able to connect with them the same way as if you've already protected yourself with this insurance policy. So this always makes me feel like they've got my best interest at heart. Now we're going to cover the part where we cover how do you get paid. This is probably the part, if you're checking this out as far as an occupation change, or, you know, like how do I get paid for my efforts? So in case nobody has told you this yet, this is an insurance job. It is a sales job. It is 100% commission only, and I hope that this isn't new news to you. You get paid for the efforts you put in, meaning that you can't there's two people who start this job, right? One is lazy, one works very hard. One of you will make more than the other one. That's how this works. So we are looking for part-time and full-time agents across the nation. We need as much help as we possibly can get. Our commission levels are between 60 and 110%. You do have the opportunity to earn your own raises based off of your own performance. Every 2 months, you can earn a 5% raise on the same business you're putting in, as long as you're hitting your performance goals. And you also have the ability to earn bonuses for just doing your job. So I'm going to go through this. As you can see, there will be some math, but I will keep this as simple as possible. So a part-time agent is normally putting in about 15 to 20 hours a week. They're placing on average 6 sales per month. I would say our part-time agents are overachievers, and they're doing much better than the average agent here. As for average part-time agent, you'll get to hear from one of my most favorite part-time agents today. I won't talk about him right now. Let's talk about this part-time agent here. You start at that 60% contract level. Our average policy we write to protect a home or to protect funeral expenses is between $80 and $85 a month. The insurance carrier pays our agents, us, the Symmetry agents, based off of the amount of money the insured will pay for the policy over the course of a year. So that's what this annual premium volume stands for. Annual meaning for the year, premium what they pay, volume the total amount. So if you take the average case of about $83, you times that by 12 months, that's 1,000 APV. So this is what Val was talking about, how he wrote 3,000 APV within 30 hours of getting the lead itself. So the starting contract at 60%, you get paid 60% of this $1,000 APV, and then you get advanced. So the client is going to pay 99.9% of the time monthly for their insurance. They sign up for the insurance, they pay their first month's premium, and they pay their monthly premium every month. As soon as the insurance carrier gets that first month premium from the insured, they're going to advance us, the agent, 75% of the 60% contract. So let's say, for example, this guy right here, you write 6 apps at 1,000 APV a piece. That's 6,000 APV. I hope you guys are following me. You're at a 60% contract level in the month. You should be earning $3,600 in the month. Now remember, you get a carrier advance of 75% of that within a day to 2 days of them collecting that first premium from the insured. So your advanced income, this is what you see within a couple of days of the policy being approved, is $2,700. And now you're living off of that advance for your first 9 months here. Once you finally have your business in place for an entire year, once month 10, 11, and 12 get here, they'll start paying you that remaining 25% they haven't paid you yet. So that is called residual income. It comes in on the back end. It is a very great surprise because it pays at the beginning of the month. And then if you look at that total first year compensation for a part-time agent, that's a $43,200 a year gig that you've picked up on the side for 15 to 20 hours a week. Not a bad part-time agent. So as you can see, a full-time agent, you kick up the hours 30 to 35, you're placing 15 to 20 sales per month. And whenever you've done that, like we were talking about, normally a full-time agent will earn a 75% contract level, so 3 raises, placing 15 to 20 sales per month. Now you're looking at that average 1,000 APV policy at a 75% carrier advance. With 15,000 APV, that's 15 policies at 1,000 APV apiece. At that 75% contract level, because you have earned raises since you've started, that would be $11,250 in commissions in the month. Now remember, we're going to get an advance because the client is paying monthly, 75% of that $11,000 up front. So your now money, the money that you see as soon as this policy gets approved, is $8,437, and 50 cents in the month. So if you times that by 12 months in a year, just that advance alone is a 6-figure income. And then once you get that back end residual income, now that's an $135,000 a year career that you have built up for yourself, working 30 to 35 hours a week. I know a lot of people who work a whole lot more for a whole lot less. And I used to be that person. I made less than that, and I worked a whole lot more than I do right now. So we're very happy with the production side of what Symmetry provides for us. Anybody can come here and on their own pen take care of their family and their own hours. But what makes Symmetry different, this is where you'll see me lose track of what I'm talking about, because I get so emotional about the fact of what Symmetry is doing for people and what it provides for people if you take advantage of it. You have the ability to earn both time and money here, because not only do you have a temporary income path, which is any self-employed or any kind of being employed position. You have to go to work. You don't go to work, you won't get paid, right? You don't go to work, you'll get fired or you'll go out of business. But Symmetry also offers another path. It's not something that's required. You don't have to go that path, but it's available. And what if you asked yourself, do I want permanent income or temporary income? What if you didn't have to get out of bed in the morning to make an income? So you can earn permanent income in addition to the temporary income that you have here, strictly out of making an impact on other people. And it's through leadership. Symmetry Financial Group is a leadership development company that just so happens to sell insurance. And you can build your own agency, hiring and training people to take their lives back, build their own business, get their hours, get their lives, spending time with their family, and making an impact on families needing help protecting their future. And you can be compensated for that just because you chose to help other people do the same thing as you. So this is system-driven income. Val, could you share with everybody our exclusive agency ownership program?
Absolutely. So our exclusive agency owner program is what really drew me here. So what I always say when Chris called me about 2.5 years ago out of the blue and asked, "Hey bud, what are you doing? How you been? What are you up to? Are you open?" He was the right person calling at the right time. Okay, I knew Chris and I go back about just over 10 years, believe it or not, when I first met him on one of these amazing trips that these carriers do, which we'll talk about later. But with this, when he talked to me about Symmetry and the opportunity here, one of the most attractive things that I found was this agency ownership program. So you can have true contractual ownership of a business within Symmetry, to where you actually own it, to where that income that you've worked so hard to create can truly be in perpetuity, right? Which means forever, right? Right. You put it in place, and it's kind of a one and done. Now, is it easy? Absolutely not. Nothing worthwhile is easy. John Maxwell said it best: everything worthwhile is uphill. Is this going to be easy? No, absolutely not. But I can share with you from my experience, as I'm getting established here with the company and creating my own agency. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. There's no question, right? So nothing, everything worthwhile takes work, right? Everything worthwhile is uphill. So we have the ability to build our own agency and create that passive income, because as Jordan said it best, it's like, what's better, working once and getting paid once, or working once and getting paid forever? So when you build an agency, that's what it's about. So you have an opportunity to train people, get them up to speed, plug them into a system, right? You're not even necessarily training them. You're plugging them into a training system and creating an agency. So if you're, for example, at an 85% contract, which means you've had enough production to get to that level, it's all spelled out for us, which is beautiful, and you had agents at a 70% contract based on their production, the difference is called a spread. So given that example, from 85% to 70% is 15%. So an agency owner looks like this. So basically, let's say we're using that same $15,000 number of personal production. So all we're doing is producing 4 or 5 apps a week, okay, 4 to 5 apps a week, which is not that hard to do, quite frankly, if you're truly working full time. At 85%, contract level, you'll be getting a commission on that. So $35,000 agency volume, in other words, the agents that you've hired and trained, there's a 15% spread on those. Of course, just factoring in the carrier advance, what it looks like is 15,000 personal production. Your personal income just on the advance side of things is $9,500 plus. On the agency production, it's almost $4,000. So if we're looking at just advances, it's about $162,000. When we factor in the back-end pay, which we get later, it's over $200,000. This income, this level to where you're still only producing 4 or 5 applications a week, this can be done at the same time as that personal production within a year. And we've had people do that in actually less than a year. Now we get into kind of the monopoly money kind of numbers. So we like to throw this out there, and what's great is that people have not only done this, but it's not only been done, it's been duplicated. So if you could jump to the next one there for the EVP, the Executive Vice President, a $500,000 agency. Again, these are just the crazy numbers. What did you call it, Jordan? You said something funny.
I said it's video game numbers.
It's video game numbers, right? And the amazing thing here to me is that people have done this in less than 5 years. None of this is overnight, right? But picture this in 5 years to be able to put together something like this. It's just mind-boggling. So with looking at Executive Vice President income, showing on the screen there, by the way, your personal production is 0 at this point because all you're doing is focusing on building and developing and sustaining your agency, or not sustaining, but supporting, I should say. Looking at the profit share, at your total compensation being over $1 million. And the crazy thing is results matter, right? These are not hypothetical numbers. These are real numbers. We have people at this level and beyond, which is mind-boggling. So if you could share with us some of the other incentives that we have, Jordan.
Yeah, so
other than a 7-figure income.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to also add to that guys, I know you look at, and because I've been in every single one of y'all's shoes who's looking at us for the first time. And I remember I was going crazy. I was buzzing. I was like, this is exactly what I've always wanted. This does everything I need. And then I saw those numbers and I was like, all right, like, you know, let's focus on just making 50K a year. Like, let's focus on trying to make a 6-figure income. But it's not easy. It is just not easy to make 7 figures. Let's wrap our heads around that. Not everybody is making 7 figures in our company, but the people who are putting in the time, they're putting in the effort, and they're doing it in 5 to 7 years. And that right there is what gets me out of bed every day, knowing that what we can do with a 7-figure income for our community is just completely change Seymour, Tennessee. It's such a tiny place. Nobody knows what Seymour, Tennessee is, but you can change Seymour, Tennessee with a 7-figure income. But just like Val was saying, as if the income wasn't fantastic enough, and you think to yourself, wow, I can pay for such great vacations if I was making 7 figures. What if you didn't have to pay for vacation? Because the carriers are going to send you on incentive trips for doing your job anyways. Look at these beautiful places. And they don't just put you in the Holiday Inn there. They put you in the Ritz-Carlton. They put you in the Four Seasons. They put you in the nicest of the nicest places, all expenses paid, just for bringing them business. And we know plenty of people on our team who are hitting these. There's actually a trip right now that we're all gunning for, and I'm so excited when I get to introduce our next couple, because they're also gunning for an all expenses paid trip to Costa Rica in October, and all we got to do is work our tails off in June. It is crazy what this company does for rewarding people for just doing their job. So as you can see, beautiful trips, all expenses paid just for doing your job. Here's the destination 2020 that we're all gunning towards right now. So yeah, so thank you. I just want to go ahead and thank everybody for taking the time hearing about Symmetry, but I really want to just take a quick second before I pass the mic to be real with every single one of you guys that are looking at us for the first time, or maybe you just needed to remind yourself about where Symmetry is going, right? Each and every one of us now know of an opportunity where you can balance your life through your efforts and can be paid permanently through impacting the lives of other people that you just bring on and plug into a system. More agents are going to come work for Symmetry. We are going to fill the pie. I want to make sure that that is clear. There will be people who get this and they love it, and you just feel it. When you know this is for you and you got to try this out because you want to believe in yourself again, you can feel it. And if you feel it and you see this and you say, I can do this, I'm willing to do what it takes, and I'm willing to develop myself, and I'm ready to get started, you need to get with the person who invited you to watching this and say, what do I do next? Because they're going to guide you with the mentorship program. And it's not just them, guys. We have a whole team of people behind the person who invited you here, who is going to help you every step of the way get exactly what you want out of this system.
Real quick, guys, the great thing about Symmetry and what separates us from other IMOs and FMOs out there is that we were built for builders. We were built because you can make, I mean, truly, if you put your mind to it, you can make money any day of the week, right? You can go set up a lemonade stand outside. You can go flip burgers. You can start a new business. You can do whatever you want. But you can't buy more time. Nobody's figured out how to buy more time, right? You never know when your day is called. So we built this because we know that, insurance agents, as much as we love doing what we do, as much as we love helping families out there, after doing this for 3, 4, 5 years plus, it can become a little taxing. And there's nothing like having a team behind you and a team that you can cultivate to go out there and help families and exponentially increase the amount of impact that you can have on families out there. And as a result, a byproduct of doing that and impacting more people is more income in your pocket. So, no judgments here. I'm just using a loose analogy. But, you look at the McDonald brothers that opened the first McDonald's, right, out in California. They had a nice burger shop going. It was good, but they were working each and every day and sweating 7 days a week. And then here comes Ray Kroc, selling them a shake machine and a blender. And he gets an idea and says, you know what, I'm going to build these all over the country. And how would you like to be that? Which situation would you rather have? The one store that you have to run 7 days a week? Or the thousands and thousands of stores, billions of burgers served all over the world, and you're kind of overseeing all that, right? And it's funny, a lot of people look at the insurance industry and they say, well, isn't that an MLM? Isn't that this? Isn't that that? It's not, guys. It's just like franchising. It's just like, I was talking to an agent the other day. It's funny, there are no reality shows called $1 Million Policy, right? There's a ton of real estate shows out there, and it's all about setting up an agency of yours, having realtors work on your team and getting out there and helping as many people as you can. And guess what? Whoever owns that business is going to get a little piece of all that because they've set up the banner. That's all we do here. Insurance just doesn't happen to be as exciting and as glossy as real estate. But I can tell you it saves a lot more lives than buying a new house. So that's something to really think about when you consider coming on board here. We're all about building. I'm looking at my notes here. And there's plenty of ways to do it, guys. I won't give away too much of the secret sauce here before you come on board, but I will say Symmetry, our leaders, our hierarchy leader, Chris Cook, and all of us peers, we have systematized processes in place for you to recruit agents and bring them into your business. plenty of solutions, anywhere from absolutely free to building your own machine through advertising on ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, etc. Some of you may be here as a result of that. So just know, not only do we have a system in place that allows you to grow a business, but we've got systems inside that system that teach you how to bring those agents on. And then we all work as a family together to train each other. I don't think you'll find more support, resources, and tools at any other company like ours out there. So it is my pleasure to kind of give you guys a peek inside what we're all about in terms of building, because at the end of the day, we all love helping families, but the goal here is to impact as many families as we can while building a household income. And as we do that and grow in our commission pieces up to the equity bonus portion, you know, we're growing revenues for a company that we get a piece of at the end of the day. So, you know, and being able to help only so many families a week, it's important to get more agents out there so that you can impact more families and help as many families as possible. So, guys, without, you know, further ado, I want to introduce a dynamo. I think we saved the best for last here in terms of what we can show you as far as what's possible in earning your day-to-day income as a producer. So it is my privilege and pleasure to introduce Elijah Corujo, who is just skyrocketing through the levels here at Symmetry, and it's just as a result of his smile, his good looks, and his sweat each and every day, you know, putting in what it requires to make a difference in your life. So again, Elijah, take it away.
What's up? Can you guys hear me okay? Sweet. It took a sec for the unmute to process. Thank you for that, Mark. First and foremost, I just want to give you guys full disclosure. I bought a puppy during quarantine. And so you guys can probably hear him in the background. He's in the crate. So just know he's fine, but that's the background noise. My name's Elijah. I'm calling you guys from Newport News, Virginia. And I'm direct to the Reynolds legend himself. And I'm just going to talk just briefly kind of about the results. Results are important. And so I'm going to talk about some of the tangible benefits of partnering with a company like Symmetry and building a business here. And so when I talk about results, I'm referring to things that you want and are valuable to you, whether that is not working 80 hours a week, if you're working a crazy amount, whether that's seeing your family 2 days a week, whether that's making more than $100,000 a year, what have you. Whether that's, for me, one of the results I was looking for was satisfaction and fulfillment in a career. I was drawn to Symmetry because I was sold the idea growing up of getting good grades, graduating, going to a good college to get a job that doesn't even pay you enough to pay off the debt you incurred to go to school. And for me, it's like, yeah, I can see a majority of people doing that. Not necessarily anything wrong with that. It's just not what I want. The reason I didn't want that is because, one, it sounds awful. Two, if work encompasses literally the biggest part of your life more than anything else, I don't want to hate what I do for work. I just don't. I don't want to get a job that I went into debt to get, and then on top of it, not enjoy the work that I'm doing. I'm all for volunteer work, like doing what fulfills you and what you're passionate about. And for me, I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about business. I'm passionate about providing value in a tangible way. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the statistics about market share and debt, America as a whole is, including our government, is hurting financially, big time. And I don't know if you guys got the hint, but we work in financial services. And so I do not have a background in sales. I've never worked in insurance before. I found out about Symmetry while I was working in a call center in a gray windowless cubicle office, absolutely hating what I did. And every time I describe it, it's like that scene in Incredibles where he's got the headset on, he's sitting in just a sea of cubicles. It's just a depressing scene. And that's where I was. I lasted 90 days, true story, before Grant told me about this crazy idea he had about joining the insurance industry. And at the time I thought he was trying to sell me a policy. And I was like, bro, I'm 21 years old. What the heck I don't even know what life insurance is, dude, let alone joining. And long story short, I started part-time while I was a senior in college, and I made $60,000 in my first year, or $59,000 to be exact. I was part-time. I was averaging making between $500 and $1,000 a week. And I was taking 18 credit hours most of the time. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because I was an average Joe who plugged into a system that I resonated with. I saw the vehicle that Symmetry was to get what I wanted, which was not being broke and doing something I enjoyed. I loved the idea of being able to build my own schedule, be passionate about what I did, work remotely. That was one of the biggest things for me, more than pay. I cared more about being able to work from home than make good money. And then I just happened to get really good at this because I'm good at talking to people. And you don't necessarily have to be good at talking to people. You don't have to be good at sales. You don't have to know everything there is to know about insurance. You just have to be teachable. You have to care about people. You have to have integrity. And you got to be willing to work your ass off if you want to do something here. And if I were to give anybody who's looking at this company for the first time, or maybe you've been here a little bit and you're on here just to get fired up, if I were to give anybody a piece of advice in order to grab your piece of the pie and take part in the results that you're wanting, you have to get clear on what it is you want. Because at the end of the day, Symmetry is a very simple business with what we do here. It's just not easy. And for me, this company was a vehicle or a segue to get from where I was to where I wanted to be. And for so many people looking at this company, for me, it's changed my life as well as everybody else who's on here and saying things. And it can be that for you. Is it for you? That's for you to tell. At the end of the day, most people don't grow up saying, I'm passionate about insurance. Most people grow up saying, you know what, I'm passionate about ministry. I'm passionate about impact. I'm passionate about leading people. I'm passionate about being my own boss. And all of those things encompass the character and fabric of who we are as a company. And if any of that resonates for you, Symmetry can be the vehicle to get the results that you're wanting. And so for me, on a tangible basis, I'm on pace. The goal was to make $200,000 this year. We're in June. Crazy stuff has hit the fan in 2020. I don't know if you guys have seen kind of some of the madness going on, but the cool part is, despite how many people are losing jobs and how many industries are affected, Symmetry is actually growing. We switched our entire sales process from being in person for 10 years to, over the course of 1 week, being completely remote. And our sales did not skip a beat. I'm on pace. Currently, I didn't work in January. I was helping my family start a business. True story. So I worked part-time and then took 4 or 5 months off and lived off of the savings that I built while working part-time to help my family start a business. And then in February, I got rolling again with Symmetry, and I'm on pace this year, I think, to make 140. I'm 23 years old. And you may be looking at this and think, you know what? I don't need to make 140,000. I just want to make more than 32,000. And I don't want to work 40 hours a week. This can be the job for you. I came from making $1,100 a month to doing that in a week in less than 3 months. And I sucked when I first started. I didn't do what I was taught. I thought I was so cocky. I didn't think I needed to go through the training. I thought, okay, I could talk to somebody who asked for this coverage and I could help them get it. And I was quickly humbled, and I plugged into the training. I got on the events, or I got 2 events, and I got on the conference calls, and I called Grant 12 times a day to ask questions, and I overcame that learning curve. And so results matter. Is money the most important thing? Absolutely not. That may not be what it is you're looking for. You may be looking at this company and you make $300,000 a year, but you work 90 hours a week and you see your wife 1 day a week, or you see your husband 1 day a week, or you don't even know what your kids are passionate about because all you do is work. Symmetry is the fine balance of combining the limitless potential of income earning potential and time. And then on top of it, at the top of that, impact with what we do. We're not selling some jank hair care product or granola bars. We're helping people protect their legacy. We're helping people get completely out of debt. And so I'll leave you guys with that. The next guy I'm gonna invite up on here is leading the charge. He's been here longer than any of us. He's written more apps than any of us. I think this year I've written 73 applications for just shy of 80 grand in production. God knows how much this next guy I'm about to bring on has written. He's killed it. He's written apps in, I think, over 12 states. He's down there in the beautiful Tennessee, the legend himself, Chris Cook. And take it away, brother.
Sorry, had to make myself the video there. I think we're on Jordan's screen. I don't know. But anyway, I pray you guys see me. Mark, love your background. Elijah, thank you for the introduction, buddy. That's awesome. Really good stuff out there. And great job, everybody on the team tonight. You know, if you're brand new, you're looking at us for the first time. Obviously, my name is Chris Cook. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been with Symmetry Financial now 6.5 years. And me and my family, my wife, looked at this business 6.5 years ago, and we looked at it as an opportunity. We had been a part of the industry for a little while, and we looked at it as an opportunity to not only personally produce, but we looked at it, you heard a part-time perspective tonight, you've heard a full-time perspective tonight, and then you heard, you know, Mark talk about the opportunity to build a business here. Well, that was something we were attracted to. I was part of the industry. I'd personally produced in the industry before, and certainly that was an attractive thing because I knew you could control your own income, and you could control your income for you and your family by what you did there. But also I wanted something because when I started here, I had two very little precious things in my life, and it was a 1-year-old little Noah bear. That's my youngest son, and Reese Cup. That's my oldest boy. He was 4 years old. And I remember looking at him at the other company while I was there, and I was like, I constantly, when I went to bed at night and I got in from my appointments late at night, I constantly asked myself, am I building something that's a future for them? And I could never, you know, it didn't matter how much I personally produced, and I produced a lot in my career, and I've made good money doing it. So money wasn't the driving force. No matter how much I produced, what I couldn't answer at the end of the night, what happens to, sorry, I'm admitting somebody here. What happens to my little boys when daddy's gone? When dad leaves this earth and he's no longer here, what happens to them? What have I done to leave something behind? You know, I heard it the other day or saw it the other day. Legacy is what legacy is. It's planting seeds for a tree to provide a shade that you'll never see. And I know some of the things that I'll never see that my boys will, that we're building today, the acorns that we're planting today, because we've decided to partner up with Symmetry Financial and so many of these wonderful people that you see on the horn here with us tonight. We feel it's such a blessing because we've been able to partner up with those people, but we're building a business. And what that means for us is, for me, it just means I get to watch my boys grow up. I get to coach football. I get to coach the basketball team. I coach 2 basketball teams. I coach a football team. And through all that, we get to lead this tremendous life. And we get to provide a legacy for our kids and for my wife, because the way Symmetry provides it, if you build an agency here, and that's something that we decided to do, it's not something that you have to decide to do, but something we chose to do. We sign an ownership agreement. What that means is something ever happens to me, my wife and kids are taken care of financially because now they own the company. They receive the revenue from the business that we provided. And, you know, that may or may not resonate with you, and that's okay. Maybe it's a part-time, maybe it's a full-time. Maybe this is not a good fit for you. I'll say this. It's not, we wish you nothing but the best of luck in whatever you choose to do. We want you to kill it. We want you to have an impact in your community, and we want you to go out there and be successful at whatever it is you want. But if you do decide this is a fit for you, you know, get good at asking this question. This was a question that I got really good at asking. What do I need to do next? You know, you tell the person that this is a fit for you. What do I need to do next? And here's really all you got to do is just do that and take it one step at a time. You know, we heard it on a Zoom session earlier today. you look at the whole staircase. You don't need to look at the whole staircase. You just need to look at the first step and take that first step, and then take the next step. And you've got leaders on this call that will help you through that process. You got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to fail. Certainly I've failed way more than I've succeeded. I promise you that. And I will continue to fail, but I'll also continue to improve through that failure. And so if this is a fit for you, get with the person that invited you on this call tonight and ask them simply, what do I need to do next? And if this is the right fit for you, take that first step, and maybe we'll see what your staircase looks like in your life. Everybody have a great evening. Appreciate everybody for being on here tonight. Thank you, guys.